Democrats had criticized Senator Johnson for that remark that he was wishing for failure, be that as it may. Right now, it doesn't look good that they can get something together. That's when we cue in the money that is falling and raining down on the Capitol Hill to illustrate the point that that's your money and it's going nowhere fast. Scott Bolden is a former D.C. Democratic Party chairman. Scott, always love having you on. How badly is your party divided on this when you have senators sniping at each other in their respective papers? Is this out of control?
I don't think it's out of control, but you never know when it's out of control if they can come together and get a deal done. Let's be real clear. There are no deadlines. These are self-imposed deadlines, but deadlines are important in the sense that at some point in time, you got to get it done versus it being held in perpetuity.
Well, what if you don't get it done this year, Scott? I mean, would you be worried that this stands little likelihood of happening next year?
I'm worried that it's too big and too many bills, and these deadlines or even not getting it done this year is a real possibility. Remember, this is all about 2022, no matter how many Democrats or Republicans deny it. And so I would be worried about that. But listen, Bernie Sanders and Joe Manchin, listen, my grandmother used to say a hit dog will holler. Bernie Sanders is right. 70 to 80% of West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the Union, are for many of these human infrastructure pieces of legislation that Manchin won't vote for. Is he voting for himself, or is he holding back his vote for his constituents? And that's really what Bernie Sanders was talking about.
But the other thing is this: Sanders forgets as well, right, that Manchin represents a big coal-producing state here, and those interests are clearly pushed to the side in this measure. We can argue all the particulars. I'm just curious what you make of the party really coming down hard on Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona simply because they don't want to spend so much. What do you think of that?
Yeah. But if both of them had credibility, for example, Sinema is a moderate, if you will. She's never really said what she wants. Right. Joe Manchin, to his credit, says, listen, I'm a conservative Democrat. I got coal industry in West Virginia. I'm not for this spending or this, in his opinion, overspending. At the same time, he represents the poorest jurisdiction in the country, and his constituents could benefit from it.
Yeah,
and so I think the anger towards the two of them
about his recent requirement of, that when it comes to the child tax credit, for example, that there be a work provision there, much like we had back in the days of Bill Clinton, a welfare to work strategy. What is so obscene about that?
Well, clearly other Democrats who put in this legislation, the need for that legislation, have a real problem with it. But there again, I see that as being a really good negotiable point, if you will. Both sides have to give up something in order to get to the finish line on this. And then Joe Biden, let me just say this, right? Joe Biden is no LBJ. He needs to turn into an LBJ right now, right? Whether it's strong-arming, whether it's forceful, or just dictating to the House and Senate member, the Democrats, what they need and what they don't need, and why it's so important.
LBJ had bigger numbers to work with, right? Now, you might be right about the fact that LBJ knew exactly what he was going to push, and maybe Joe Biden
and he knew where the votes were.
Well, you're right about that. I'm just wondering where you think this goes here, because if this implodes, you do have to wonder about the Democrats' prospects. I was talking to one Democrat recently. I want to get your thoughts on this, Scott, who said he quietly hoped it did implode because we don't want more spending and the inflation that could come with it at this time. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, you could make that same argument under the Trump administration where they blew a $3 billion gap in the debt ceiling. I mean, listen, infrastructure, human infrastructure, real infrastructure is really important. These entitlement programs are really important coming on the wake of COVID-19. You could argue all of those things, but America is ailing, and America needs some remedies, and maybe the package isn't as big as $3.5 million. Maybe it's 2.1. Maybe the infrastructure, which everybody agrees upon, even though the Progressive Party, the Dems, are holding out for that, maybe that's really what we need. But in the end, there's got to be some negotiation in good faith. They've got to come in at a smaller number, and maybe they go after the rest next year, because they're not going to control the House and Senate in 2022 if they don't get something done, and they surely aren't going to win in 2024 if they continue this public infighting that people, the American people, at least the majority of them, voted for the Democrats to get get something done. I don't care how close the numbers are. You got to figure out how to get done if you want to come back to Washington.
And to your point, things can happen in election year. Of course, the Affordable Care Act came about in 2010. Democrats lost a lot of seats as a result, but it did get done in an election year.
Exactly. And maybe the entitlements that Joe Manchin is so much against, maybe you take those for a couple years, right? He doesn't want to do it because he knows how hard it is to undo it. But maybe the progressives say, okay, let's put this in for the next 2 to 5 years as opposed to 10 years, and let's fight like hell to get it done when it runs out or it turns itself out.
But he has every right to be leery of that because you know Washington far better than I. Once something is in there, it's hard to remove, right?
Well, he's not on your show debating me. But if he were, I'd concede that.
All right, Scott, always good having you. Thank you very much. Scott
Good
Bolden,
seeing you again.
The former D.C. Democratic Party chairman.